Hi, my name is Georgina and I'm new here. It's my pleasure to introduce the one and only Georg Schlodcheck today, who's going to talk your head off with his once monthly unscripted vlog. So please help me welcome Georg. I guess you'll have to clap and cheer now. Take it away, Georgie.
Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name... Did I turn this on? Yeah, it's on. That's for the sound, you know. The sound you're hearing, it's not the camera sound, it's the Tascam. I think it does a much better job. That's why I always have a mic clipped up here. So this is my unscripted September vlog. I do this once a month. It's once a month. It's a kind of practice for talking better in front of the camera. And yeah, I always speak my mind. I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce you to my newest channel. Well, my new channel. I have 2 channels now. It's crazy, I know. It's how does somebody who's already busy or thinks he is, like me, run 2 YouTube channels? I'm telling you, it's overwhelming sometimes. I won't lie to you. And the purpose of this channel is because my new business, it's drone videography and photography. And in order to promote myself with that, I started a new YouTube channel that'll, on the one hand, showcase some of the stuff that I do. My next idea is kind of making a reel of the summer and early fall of Edmonton, but there are other projects in the work that require a lot of work, and that's what's so overwhelming. But enough talking. The channel name is The One.
The One.
It's all about my experience with drones, what I do with my drones, how to get the most out of your drones. Now, what I can't do, at least not yet, and maybe will never do, maybe, it's all the new reviews of all the new stuff that comes out. I don't have experience with FPV drones at all, even though I'm intrigued by them. I don't have the funds to always get the latest, and I don't have the sponsorship for that neither. DJI, or if you're new in the drone sales or whatever and you want to promote your products and stuff, I mean, I'd be willing to test your drones for you and post a good review and stuff. So if that's the case, my email can be seen in the about section, but I'm not holding my breath for that. I mean, right now my channel has, if I'm lucky, the way I'm talking right now, maybe it has 40 subscribers. So it's at the very starting phase, but I think it's good stuff. I am being honest with everybody, and I'm telling you the experience I've had over the past 2.5 years or so, almost 3 years since I bought my first drone. So yeah, and this is obviously a future business more than a current one. It's been a hobby and it still is. I'm doing a lot of stock footage that I'm posting right now on a site called Pond 5, and there'll be a link in the description to my page, and it's also a referral link. If you have a drone and if you enjoy this hobby, I mean, that's at least a way you can set yourself up to make some extra money, and perhaps if you're really persistent about it, it can lead to a passive income stream. However, I think you need actually thousands of clips to get it to be something consistent. YouTube is no different. You have to have, like in my case, hundreds and hundreds of videos, and unless your channel explodes, you get about $35 a month. I'm just being honest with you. So if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, either be really strategic about it. What makes money? What do people watch? What is the trends and stuff? Then just follow that, which may not always be that much fun to do, but that's how you make money on YouTube, I believe. And well, if you're not doing that, you're probably going to be stagnant in some way every now and then. And you know, there's always little ups and downs, of course. I mean, last year I had a month where I was making double what I'm making now, and I'm looking forward to doing that on a regular basis. But yeah, basically, since I lost my pickup truck to theft last year, I've been looking at doing this more and more, and it's not really, yeah, it hasn't really been successful, but I still enjoy it enough to keep doing it. Anyways, I'll talk to you a bit more in a little bit here. I'm in the newest park that the city of Edmonton has opened up just last weekend. You see behind me there's a covered bridge, and there's two of those in this park, and it's quite nice and amazing, and it's quiet here in the morning as well, so I could do this pretty much undisturbed. Now, my biggest temptation was actually to fly my Mini 2 through one of these bridges, but that's against the bylaw, and I don't know if I'm gonna actually do that, because I don't want to attract too much attention with things like that. That's not a good reputation to have and to build up. There might be people walking around that I didn't see, but then again, there are people working here, and as long as they don't squeal on me and there's nobody in the bridge, I mean, temptation, right? Well, September, what can I say about the month of September? But yeah, it's hard for me because I've been following the Canadian politics, and it's very hard not to get political on this channel. I mean, I had some shorts that I did where I commented on stuff. There's a little bit of a battle going on, a Cold War, if you want to call it that, between Canada and India. And this war is playing out mostly on the news media, but they're more or less, you could call them, turn around, even though maybe that's going to give me some backlight. They're not too bad, eh? Yeah, what do you call it? Is it propaganda? Propaganda, yes, propaganda. It's news, but see, I like to watch news from a variety of sources, and one of my sources that I like to watch, it's the Weon and First Post. They're from India, and they're very good because they have a different perspective on things than our North American perspective that we get fed on our local news. And it's kind of almost these days is what you have to do. You have to rely on a number of different sources in order to form an informed opinion. Because everybody's feeding you their versions, and whoever sponsors them has too much influence on that, and they have obviously deep pockets, which the ordinary citizen doesn't. And you've probably seen the trend that there's going to be less and less money with what we call the middle class or the working class, and more money, and with that power, with the tiny 1% super rich people. And that's obviously, it's been going on for some time. It's nothing new. It's been getting worse. There's no doubt about it. And now in this India thing, I mean, my opinion on that is see, what it is about is that a guy who is obviously, he's been an activist in Canada, but for his country, for his people that are Khalistani. Well, it's regional and religious. Apparently in the 1800s or so, Khalistan was independent. It was like a country, I guess. But then the British took over India, and then it kind of got left aside when India became independent. So they don't have a province, they don't have anything. And so there is a large group of these people in Canada, and now I don't know what their activities are. Honestly, I gotta admit that I'm not informed enough to comment on that, but it's not the point. The point is that the guy has been assassinated by somebody, and we don't know who that was yet, apparently. Maybe somebody knows, but they're not publishing that. And the Canadian government, or Justin Trudeau, claims that the Indian government was implicated in some way, and he's requesting their cooperation. Now, the way they reacted was by, basically really insulted. Yeah, it was obviously, I don't think they'd be too thrilled about these accusations, yes. But if they were really that absurd, maybe the reaction would have looked a little bit different. And the reaction that I see on the Indian news media, it's propaganda, guys. Now Justin Trudeau is being suspected of smuggling cocaine on his plane. I don't know. I don't give that much credibility. I think that's just dirty tricks, dirty politics, dirty reporting. And if that's what the Indian government is behind, then I don't have much confidence in them. Is that enough? That's enough about that, right? Like, what about September here? Well, it's been disappointing a little bit because there were too many days that the air quality still wasn't good earlier in the month. Now that it's cooled off a little bit, it's much better. And then I gotten busy with handyman work, which is good because it pays the bills, but it's kind of hard. See, it's been almost a year now since my pickup truck got stolen. How did I manage? I didn't have insurance coverage for theft on this truck. It hasn't been replaced. I have not replaced it, not been able to, nor have I really tried. I still do handyman work, mostly focusing on smaller jobs, but I have also used the opportunity to get myself a little bit oriented towards something different, which is flying drones. And how do you make money flying drones? Well, it's by producing good footage. And I gotta turn the camera around because the reflections on the water, they're just amazing. So this is Edmonton's newest park, and I gotta say about the city of Edmonton, I mean, there are a lot of problems in the city, but there are a lot of good things too. You just have to open your eyes to them. I mean, it's one thing to complain about the crime rate and all the things that go wrong, like people complaining about other people wanting bike lanes. Bike lanes are essential for a modern city if we're going to steer toward a better society where not everybody has to drive a car all the time and get stuck in traffic, because that's what's going on. Barb and I went across town in the car yesterday. It was Barbara's birthday, so we went to some thrift stores, and then afterwards we went to a Mexican restaurant. Tres Amigos. Very good food, very high prices compared to what we were used to before the pandemic anyways. But we ended up taking a route that was probably the worst idea possible, going through town, and you wouldn't believe it. I mean, it's like an hour later, finally you get there, and the distance is only something like maybe 12 or 15 kilometers. So it's really, really slow going through town, and it's because there are lanes and lanes of cars, parts of which are blocked off, but there are no other means of transportation. There are some bike trails, yes, but presently they don't connect in a way that would make a lot of people take them, and there are also a lot of them that are unsafe. Last month I also posted a video that got a lot of big response. Amazing, I never made that much money for shorts views because shorts don't make good ad revenue, but this one was an exception. I filmed a car that was parked in a bike lane. And I'll be honest with you, when I first saw that, I wasn't even sure that that was a police car. But then, as I'm filming this, I'm going around it. There's a police officer pops up and he talks to the other guy in the car who's also in the uniform, and they're cops, and they're parking in the bike lane. And the bike lane is not closed. I mean, it's in use, and there's no emergency going on or anything like that. So that tells me that the default way for cops or for anyone for that matter, when they need to park a car where there are traffic lanes, even when there's 2 or 3, the default place to park for them, unless there's extra parking on the road or something that's easy to access, it's in the bike lane. And that, folks, it's just so wrong, because for cyclists, even though I can go around the vehicle or whatever, it just happens way too often. If I'm going through town, I guarantee you, if I was going to do that even today, there'd probably be like 2 or 3 cases every single bike ride where somebody's blocking the bike lane. I mean, I can understand it when there's a police operation where it's urgent. I'm not complaining about stuff like that. But I'm talking about the way it's the default way for people is to block the bike lane, whether they're moving stuff out of an apartment building or whether, I've seen it way too many times. And that's why I'm talking about it, because the attitudes around bike lanes have to change. Bike lanes benefit the society as a whole because, overall, if there are safer means for people to get around on the bike, they will use their bikes more. And then the traffic jam that is in the city all the time perhaps is not going to be quite as bad. And Edmonton is actually working on that. And I'm really grateful for the developments that are coming. The $100 million bike plan, it's a step in the right direction. But I have to break it to you, it's probably still not enough. And then I'm also a little bit worried that they're going to screw it up. I mean, look at the Valley Line LRT. There's a new LRT line in Edmonton that's been running for, I think it's been over a year that it's been running. But the problem with it is that there's no passengers on it. It is running, but it's only in testing mode. And it has been like that for, how long does it take to test the trains? To test the line? The trains are running all the time. They seem to be fine. Why can't they let passengers on it yet? So there are probably some cover-ups going on that are bigger than they're admitting. There's probably some major screw-up still that has to be remedied. But anyways, that is enough for a monthly unscripted vlog. I mean, my brain, I do this pretty much unprepared. It's like, oh, we're coming to the end of the month. I gotta talk to my friends on YouTube, so that's what I do. That's you guys. So if you're new here and you're not subscribed to my channel, I would definitely appreciate if you did. And also check out my new channel that I was talking about. Especially if you're into drones or if you like to get into drones. I'm sharing everything I've learned. And of course, then there's the like button. I think that helps. I mean, I don't really care that much anymore, because it's not like I'm making tons of money here either way. Have a good one.